seems like the PAX Rising section of PAX Australia just grows bigger and bigger every year. And with good reason, we are getting more and more quality indie games that are worthy of being showcased. I want to highlight 4 of the more noteworthy ones from this year's PAX. First off, we have Paper Bark from Victorian studio Paper House. And it is a very distinctly Australian game. It's a picture book-esque style of approach, a child's picture book of following a wombat as he goes around the Victorian bush, interacting with all the fauna and flora that comes along the way. The developers come from various aspects of rural Victoria, and it shows in here. There's a certain verisimilitude to the game's style, to the way that the environments are depicted, to the sounds even. These are the sort of sounds that you only hear in the Australian bush. And it's a stark distinction from the usual association of Australian bush, so giant spiders, drop bears, that sort of thing. Admittedly, it is very much an interactive children's book, so gameplay is minimal aside from highlighting the environment to sort of allow your wombat to wander through it. But if you're looking for that sort of game, just a laid-back representation of the Australian rural scene, then it is looking very much to achieve that vision. Up next, we have Projection from Shadow Play Studios. It was one of the 6 titles that were given the rights to be highlighted along the wall of this year's PAX Rising. And it is definitely worthy of note too. It is very much a shadow puppet style game. You play as a little girl, like in almost a shadow theater play, as she goes around various cultures that all have a history of shadow puppetry involved. So you travel through epics set in Indonesia, in Turkey, in China, and in London too. The way the game plays out is that you control both the avatar, that is the girl, as well as a light, which projects shadows and light onto the environment, which you then use to navigate through the environment, to build platforms, to solve puzzles, that sort of thing. Admittedly, given the nature of shadows, it is susceptible to some fun with physics, let's call it. But having said that, the conceit seems really interesting, and I am just a sucker for shadow-based platforming, so I'm looking forward to see if this game can follow through on its epic vision. Up next, we have Witch Thief from Cardboard Keep, an isometric bullet hell shooter. Now, that's a genre you don't really hear in 2017 now, do you? And it very much adheres to the nature of bullet hell, except for its isometric camera angle. But aside from that, it is everything that you'd want from a shoot-'em-up bullet hell sort of game. So the screen is, at times, just filled with bullets, and your aim is to try and just dodge through all these bullets, find the sort of one clear path that is moving around the environment whilst shooting the sources of these bullets. It is, aside from the isometric perspective, very true to the angle, but having said that, that camera does provide some opportunities for the game to distinguish itself, to really show off the environment, so it's more than just looking at a ship over the top. The story and the writing seem fun enough, and it looks like the game will have various difficulty levels, so if you want to focus more on the environment of the story, or if you really want the bullet hell nightmare in 2017, then it looks like that Witch Thief will be able to offer that opportunity. Speaking of genres we don't really see in 2017, there is a rhythm game being shown on the PAX Rising floor. I know, right? I was excited to see Spin Rhythm from Super Entertainment being shown and to get my hands on it. Indeed, the demo that they had a couple of iPads set up because it's going to be released on there and PC, but on top of that, they also had a full-on turntable to really push through the game's message. So basically, you control, and a DJ turntable is probably the best metaphor to describe the game because you control one of 2 colors, red and blue, and as the red and blue notes come towards you, you sort of have to make sure that your corresponding, section of the turntable is there when the notes come your way. The game has a thumping dance soundtrack, and it will set to follow through with that, as well as provide the community the opportunity to develop their own beat maps and upload it to the game that way. But even in its early stage, the execution is tight, the rhythming is strong with this one, and I am just excited to have a good new rhythm game in 2017 and 2018. That is but a small sample of the independent games that are being shown in the PAX Rising section. Honestly, you could probably do a whole month's worth of episodes highlighting some of these awesome games. But really, if you ever are at PAX Australia in future years, it is very much a section worth dedicating a day to, and even then, you'll only scratch the surface.